1460 WVOX.
Stay tuned now for the Racing for Heroes radio show with host Brett Morash on 1460 WVOX.
All right, hey, Racing for Heroes fan. We're here at 1460 AM on WVOX, worldwide WVOX.com. We have a couple of US Army soldiers on today. One is a longtime friend and just man about town with Racing for Heroes, Adam Benaway. He'll be up first. He's an Army Sergeant First Class. Airborne Qualified, and our second guest, though, will be talking about air mobile things. So maybe we'll be able to figure out which is cooler, because, you know, being in the Navy, I don't know which is cooler, air assault or airborne. They both have air in it, but I know one must be cooler than the other, and I'll let you decide. So, Adam, are you on the phone, brother?
Good morning, Brett. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So, you know, maybe you can advocate for airborne being cooler than air mobile. I won't ask you to decide yourself, but tell us a little bit about what airborne is all about and why it's so cool.
Well, if you're an adrenaline junkie, that's the top of the list. There's nothing more thrilling than falling out of a plane or hanging off the side of a Black Hawk getting ready to jump. But I think each of them have their own part in this grand scheme of our awesome military.
Yeah, but I heard it's like they made it like really easy now. Like the C-17 has like doors that kind of pop out that like knock the wind down. So it's like it's not like it was in the old days with like some DC-3 or C-47 or something crazy like that. And although they didn't have air mobile back in World War II, obviously.
Correct. The C-17, we call it the Cadillac of the sky, the ride, the exit, and everything about it is much nicer than the rickety old C-130s. Gotcha.
And let me ask a question. So like, I know that the term is like a stick, right? Which is like, you know, you are kind of line going out the door, if I'm not mistaken. When that happens, so like you're going out the door, whether you want to or not, right? If you're like on a real operation, it's not like you can bail out at the last second.
I mean, you can. You might, the jump master at the door might assist you if you have any hesitation.
Is that what they refer to it as, assisting?
What's that?
Is that what they refer to it as, assisting? Is that the technical term?
It's assistant. Sometimes people just get stuck in the door for whatever natural reason, and the jump master has to help them out the door.
Gotcha. Because someone told me like the biggest guy is like the last guy, and he kind of like pushes everybody out. I didn't know if that was true. It sounds cool though.
Yeah, we don't like jump refusals. So so whether you're refusing or not, you're probably going to go out the door.
Yeah, well, you probably lose.
If you're not going to do it, it's best to just give up before you even get on the bird.
I got you. But if you probably lose cool points within the 82nd Airborne, I would think, if you don't go out the door.
Yeah, you lose a little bit of street cred.
I would think so. And then I know that jumping out of a helicopter, is that static line though? Like when you jump out, or are you pulling your own ripcord?
Yes, still static line. We jump out of Black Hawk, where you basically sit in the door with your feet dangling, and you just give yourself a little push.
Oh wow! Okay,
and that's probably the nicest jump. I love it.
Really,
especially when we're banking. If you're on the low side of the plane, you're literally looking straight down at the ground because centrifugal force is keeping you pinned to the floor.
Sure. Well, how about the people on the high side? What do they do? I mean, are they just kind of scoot themselves out and then hope they don't hit nothing, or?
Well, that's just on approach. We do the banking on approach, but then you.
Oh, I got you.
And then, but Chinooks are really fun because you just walk off the tailgate.
Okay, yeah. See, I've seen that before. So no, that's cool. And these are the things that deep down I'm jealous of all of this because I didn't get to do any of this fun stuff. So although I always had a cup of coffee and a trackball to hang out with in the combat information center, the destroyers and the cruisers. So
I'm sure your knees and back will thank you that you didn't get to do all the cool stuff.
I know steel decks were not awesome. So all right, well let's get back to racing and not airborne operations. So you're in the 69 car race fields, and I know I put out Outlaw. That's not right. It's a Legend car. But that's a shift of gears for you this year, right?
Oh yeah. So actually, this year teaming up with the RFH Tactical Mobility, we got on board with them, and we got we talked about engines last time, the different engines.
Yep.
And so we got the new and improved 3-cylinder, and got with 316 Motorsports, Willie Reitenhauer.
Yeah, Willie.
And we got that car set up, and we've been racing the last 2 days actually. It's 4 days of speed week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I'm cleaning the car and packing it up as we speak.
And where is that gonna be at Fayetteville though?
This is at Fayetteville, 4 days. Yep. We've already done 2 nights of racing, and that new car is moving. I got the time down. I got to put a whole package together. Last night I qualified 4th. Had a little trouble in the heat race, and then moved up to 7th in the feature. So
oh wow, all right.
The car, and we got there's 45 cars, probably 50 tonight and tomorrow. But this is probably one of the biggest Legends dirt races in the country, aside from Dirt Nationals.
Wow.
Week.
And all at Fayetteville Motor Speedway, right?
It's all at Fayetteville, all 4 nights. Yes, sir.
That's incredible. Because it's not a huge track or anything, but obviously it's right outside the base. So it's relatively, it's relatively close for you. And but the fact that so many folks are coming there, I think really just shows you that people are A, into Legend, and B, that Fayetteville's a great track.
Yeah, I think we got guys from some people's profiles said California. We have guys from Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, all over the country.
Wow.
And,
now within the Legend car series, so you have a new engine. Does that adjust who you get to race against, or is there just a couple of engines that are acceptable?
So there's only 2 engines allowed.
That's what I thought.
The old carbureted 1250 that I had, and then the newer SC09, and that's all you get to run. It's a spec class. It's a straight spec class. There's no bending the rules. It's all comes down to setup and driving.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. And I apologize. I just bumped the microphone. If you got an earful there for a second, because Jimmy Sprecher will give me a hard time if I click my pen or something on the mic. So I got to be careful. And then, but what's the season looking like for you though? How many races do you think you'll be able to get in this year?
Oh, I think on the schedule we have about just Fayetteville. There's 26, 30. I'd say 30 races. They race almost every other weekend, if not weekends in a row.
Oh,
that's just all at Fayetteville. There's a couple other tracks within an hour or 2 of driving. Plus, we got some of the Dirt National events, which I might try and hit up this year. So we're looking at just 25 to 30 Legend races. And then, of course, we mix in some of the other stuff with Racing for Heroes and Champ Car and our events. Right.
And then, because we even have a new relationship with Lakeview Motor Speedway coming out this year that we're going to be unveiling here in a little bit. And so, hopefully you'll have a chance to really go out there and hit it.
So I've practiced there, but I have yet to race at Lakeview. The schedules always conflict with me. They don't race them as often as Fayetteville, but they get about half a dozen to a dozen Legends races down there in the year.
Huh. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. That's good because they're super nice. So we're going to be their nonprofit partner coming up for things like the 550s and all the other kind of fun stuff that kind of happens in and around the track.
That's awesome, and I'll definitely try and make my presence and do all I can for Racing for Heroes.
We're going to need your help. Because JD Gunther is going to help us out too, because he has a very good relationship with them, and that series is ongoing, obviously, this year as well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I want to talk about a couple of pictures the other day. So I know we missed each other by a day down at RFH HQ, but you got to put your car together and had the whole team help out, under our motorsports therapy mandate. Any little shout outs to some of the guys helping you out?
Yeah, so in the past year or so, I've had 2 pretty good helpers that I've known from the military for a long time, John Boyd and Jesse Elliott, who are both PSYOP guys with me now. And me and John actually go back from division days. Unknowingly, our wives were friends while we were both deployed, and we didn't even know each other.
Huh.
And then when we became PSYOP, our wives are like, "Hey, I know you." hey, I know you. And so now we do a lot. So yeah, they gave me a hand up there. I didn't share any of Willie's setup secrets with them. So if Willie, if you're listening, don't worry about it.
We'll have him on, and we'll put that out there. Like, none of your whiz bang secrets. The witch doctor of race cars stuff was put out there.
Yeah, I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement for all of Willie's setup stuff.
No kidding.
My lips are sealed.
No, yeah, it's not just chicken bones and rice and stuff like that, or like or donations to the racing gods, huh? Sometimes. Yeah, but maybe your wives actually did some psyop on you guys and got you together. But you never know, man. That might have been what really happened there.
I don't think wives need any more motivation to get their husbands to spend money on race cars.
No, it's like me with boats. My wife, I think, rolls her eyes every time I talk about, like, I buy stainless steel parts.
You don't think she's gonna set you up with a new
highly
a new boat specialist and be like, Brett, go spend some money at this guy.
Yeah, right. Zero chance of that happening. Yeah, speaking about that, so I know that you're in, and obviously you guys are extraordinarily busy paying attention to what's going on in Kiev, and I just wanted to a little shout out to all of the troopers that are deploying right now from Fort Bragg. I know some of those folks are actually affected right now.
Yeah, I've actually been on leave the last 2 weeks, but I've been hearing the chatter and all that. So praying for those guys, of course. Let's hope that the decisions are made with lives, considered and global conditions. But we just hope that the right decisions are made, and if we do it, we do it.
You bet.
Quickly and deadly.
Yeah, well, listen, we'll see over the next couple of days, obviously. And like I said, I know some folks are pushing forward. Whether it be like the 173rd out in Italy or you guys from Bragg. So obviously our hearts are with those guys and gals that are at the tip of the spear right now. So anyway, and with that, Adam, we got a helicopter pilot coming up after us. He's really an Apache guy. He's on the line right now, waiting to come in. But anyway, so we'll have a little discussion about air mobile operations because he was 101st guy and now he's down at 1st Cav.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks again, Adam, and talk to you soon.
All right. Take care, Brett.
Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Adam Benaway, longtime friend of Race for Heroes and one of our favorite drivers out there. And, just watching to see what he's going to be doing for the rest of the year. So super exciting. With that, we have Chief Warrant Officer 4, Issac VanMeter. Isaac is a US Army AH-64 Apache pilot, has been in the military for well over 20 years and will be retiring here shortly. He's also truth in advertising. He's one of my students at Norwich University. He's since graduated, so just super proud of him as he transitions into his next chapter in life. So Isaac, welcome to Race of Heroes Radio.
Hey, good morning, sir. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for being on. There's so many things we talk about, from Clausewitz and Sun Tzu, what's going on in Ukraine, to just helicopter operations, and I'm just excited to have you here.
Oh yeah, well, I'm excited to be here. I'm working on a second master's right now in military history, and we reference the great theorists on a regular basis, so it's definitely helping.
Well, and certainly I think, if the Army knew, they would be sticking you in a planning shop right now with all the stuff going on in Eastern Europe. So, hopefully that won't happen because, I know how much I love being a planner, and I think you're probably more of a tip of the spear guy. In fact, I think we were talking, the poor T-72 guys, they were no match for your AH-64 back in the day. I think you mentioned that at one operation, you had a chance to 5 tanks in one day, which I think is probably, it would make you an ace, I think, if you're a fighter pilot.
Yeah, it was definitely a good way to start my aviation career back in the invasion of Iraq. I was still a junior warrant at the time in the front seat, getting to pull the trigger. So,
oh yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah, because in the 64, and I, for those folks who don't understand what the H-64 is, it's our premier attack helicopter. It's been around a long time, but it's gone through a lot of upgrades, and I think it's the Echo model is the current one, right?
It is, yeah. It's a tandem seat, dual engine aerial weapons platform, and I've gotten the opportunity to fly the A, the D, and the E. And our unit here at Fort Hood actually did the version 6 testing, which they're currently fielding right now.
Oh, that's very cool. And, because those things are amazing. I remember the first time I saw one as like a little kid. It was down in Orlando, and I can picture today, I was at the pool and it flew by and it had that big pod over the rotor head, so it could like sit just below the tree line.
Yeah, the FTR, the fire control radar. Yeah.
It was wild. It was so cool.
Yeah. I love the bird. It's been good to us. It's very survivable. It can take a hit and keep on ticking. And then obviously, it's a very sexy aircraft as far as like how it looks and the mission.
Oh yeah, 100%. So with that, I do think we have to talk about this because Adam, I don't know if you heard him before, he was talking about how amazing the capability are of the Airborne. And I never want to compare which is better because, they are used for different things, Airborne versus Air Mobile. But I do think it's fair to say like one is probably cooler than the other. So if you get a little shout out to the Air Mobile community, what makes that so much cooler than Airborne?
Well, I mean, definitely. I mean, the air assault operations, anytime you're going to take either a massive amount of Blackhawks or Chinooks and put a group pinpoint on a spot instead of dropping them and hoping the winds are favorable,
Good point.
So, yeah, there's definitely some pinpoint precision there with what our Chinook and Hawk brothers can do for them. Everything from fast rope and missions, onto a building or just actually landing and letting the guys get out. So,
well, and I think Adam left that part out. And I would also like to point out that in one of the greatest war movies of all time, Apocalypse Now, very air assault focused, and you can't play Ride of the Valkyrie on speakers while you're parachuting.
No, you sure can't. I guess they could have those little boat speakers, play it off their pack. But yeah, that's the first cab right there. What a great reference. I love that movie.
Well, listen, I think you're required to if you're a part of the 1st Cavalry Division. Like you actually are required to watch that movie.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'll call the guys and make sure that we add it to the spur rides. Make sure that these guys get have to take a test over it or something so they can earn their spurs.
I would think so. Like at least that like scene, like you have to like watch that scene and because like they have everything in it. They have like the Hueys. I think they have a Cobra, and they have like what used to be the AH-64s. It wasn't the Slick. It was the one with like the rocket pods on the side. And OH-6 was a Cayuse, I think was the bird. They had some of the OH-6 like Loach type helicopters flying around too, which just amazing.
Yeah, those OH-6s were something else. And of course, like I say, safe to surf this beach, right? So classic lines.
Yeah, well, and it was of course, very Navy focused because of course they were bringing a Navy patrol boat in. So like I probably am just a little bit partial to that. But I don't know if this will answer the question for everyone out there whether air assault is cooler than Airborne, but certainly give everyone something to think about.
Oh yeah, and those Chinooks, man, they can hold a small circus in the back. I've been on air assault missions where we'll have like a SEAL sniper team, infantry unit, and then even like the 4-wheelers and the K9s. I mean, it's like things just keep coming out of there.
Yeah, and you can actually like lock down like a 50 cal machine gun on the ramp in the back too, right? As like a gun, almost like a gun out the back. Yeah, it's just amazing, and I think that's the thing that the capabilities that are out there for the military is just incredible. And, I really feel that, even with all the stuff that's going on in the Ukraine, I think you and I talked about how the T-72 is kind of junk, but they got a lot of them. When you look at some of the capabilities that we have, like with like the M1 Abrams and, the Apache longbow and stuff like that, we do have the world's premier military.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. My boss right now in my internship is an old retired first sergeant. It was a tanker here at Hood, and those Abrams, and then also supported with their Bradleys. I mean, they'll tear some stuff up. Those boys can really do some stuff out there. So
yeah, because they have the TOW missile. I mean, it's just amazing what what the capabilities out there. Let's talk about that. So this transition sounds a little different than the way it was when I was transitioning. You're actually working with Department of Homeland Security as sort of like a deprogramming you from your 20 plus years of military service into being a civilian. Like that's a big change from the past, right?
yeah, they've made a lot of adjustments. I almost retired in 2017, and they had the program that they call SFL TAP, which is a Soldier for Life Transition Assistance Program. And I think they've shortened it back down to just TAP now.
Again.
But either way, you go through a week's worth of classes. They help you with your resume or your CV. They go over like business professional attire, your VA benefits, proper ways to clear, survivor benefit plan, all that kind of stuff. And then there's a second step now called CSP, which is a skill bridge type program. And you can either go get certifications like some of our soldiers get a CDL, or you can get like welding and mechanic certifications that'll help people score a job. And then the other thing that they have, and people are using this all the way through the senior field grade ranks, is internships. And the internships kind of geared towards going, working, a lot of Fortune 500 companies. Examples are Amazon, Tesla. I think Verizon has a big program that one of my friends did. And at the end of that internship, which can last anywhere from about 4 weeks to 120 days, depending on which one you do, you can be offered a job and stay on with that company, or you can just use it to pad your resume.
Yeah. Well, I have a buddy who's getting ready to retire from the military. He's an air defender, Aegis guy, and he just got a skills bridge internship up at Raytheon, up in Massachusetts, basically doing similar type work, but on sort of the technical end of things rather than sort of the business end of things.
Yeah, definitely. Those are some of the jobs that I'm looking at as well. I have my resume out with a few major aerospace companies that are here in Texas or in Huntsville, Alabama. And but this opportunity was too good to pass up. I mean, it's working at the Office of the Governor and their Homeland Security Grants Division, and it gives me a chance to kind of see some of those policy things that we learned about in your course.
Yeah. Well, even then, like, and I was going to ask you about that job you're doing with the Homeland Security grants. Like Racing for Heroes actually just got a counterterrorism grant because we're a nonprofit. And it was those grants that are out there it's a FEMA grant, but it was, it came out of the threats to Jewish temples in synagogues. It's called the NGSP grant. I forgot what the acronym was, but like that's an example of like it's a nonprofit, and are you at risk for terrorism? And Race for Heroes has some unique things that makes it that way. We were able to land one of those grants, and I'm sure that there's something out there for everybody.
There is, and what you're talking about, that NGSP, there's SHSP, which is like for the local. Everything from like fire departments, police departments, state level, border patrol, whatever. Then they've got what we call UASI, and that's the urban area grant that just focuses on like securing those major cities like Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, so forth, Houston. And then there's another one called OPSG, which is the Operation Stone Garden, which is to secure the border. So yeah, there's like they have a lot of them. It's all run by FEMA. That's actually the regs I had to study when that's my first couple of weeks here, was reading FEMA regulations and how ICS is, and the chain of command works, and staff, and how they set up the staff. So it's
did you have to go to the FEMA HQ out at Denton at all?
No, I haven't. Mine's all pretty simple in-house. Like you look at the reg, and then I did like 4 courses that are all online that I could do while I was in the office there.
Yeah, like the FEMA P, like their planning process and stuff. I had a chance to go through some of the FEMA coursework before I retired myself. But but I had a chance to go to Denton, which has like the big FEMA headquarters for I think Region 6. And it's like the coolest, like, you know, James Bond building you've ever seen. It's like it's built into the ground. It's got like it's on springs because it was supposed to be like some like Red Dawn, you know, the Cubans attack kind of thing to defend it. And it's got like pop-up machine gun cupolas around it. It's like the craziest thing ever. So if you have a chance to go. It's like totally worth the Cold War-ness of it.
Yeah, I would love to check that out. I think I'm going to get to go by and meet some people at one of the fusion centers. I think we have 8, which makes us the state with most the most fusion centers. I think the next highest is like 2.
Gotcha. Hey, listen, we're actually at the last 30 seconds of the show. So any last shout outs before I let you go and we go to the exit song?
Oh, no, just thanks for having me, and a big shout out for Norwich and the Good Doctors classes here. Everybody should sign up.
You're very kind. I don't think anyone knows I have a PhD on Race Fears Radio, but and my alternate ego, Dr. Morash. But listen, you know, with that, I any like first cav like hoo-ha type stuff, like nothing, any like Geronimo. I'm sure there's something.
Well, our boys are all over in Europe right now for Operation Atlantic Resolve.
All right.
They're the tip of the spear.
All right, brother. Hey, thanks again, Isaac. I appreciate this. The last 30 seconds show. Thank you, everyone, for being here. That was Race of Heroes Radio on 1460. We'll see you next week. Bye.